Royal Caribbean has recently begun updating ships in its fleet as part of the Royal Amplified project. The Princess and I cruised on Mariner of the Seas when the ship debuted last summer, and we loved all the updates. So, how could we pass up a chance to sail on the most recently updated ship, Navigator of the Seas? Well, the answer is we couldn't. We've just returned from 3 days of fun and sun on this newly updated ship and are happy to provide our feedback. I'm DB from EatSleepCruise.com, and this is our Navigator of the Seas ship scorecard review. This was our second time departing from Royal Caribbean's new Terminal A in Miami, Florida. Similar to our first experience, getting checked in and through security was a breeze. Getting on and off the ship at ports of call was also seamless. We did self-checkout on Disembarkation Day, which was scheduled for 7 a.m. This was the longest and most disorganized Royal Caribbean disembarkation we've ever had. Luckily, customs was a breeze and our Uber request took only a few minutes. As part of Navigator of the Seas Amplification, the ship received a completely new Caribbean-inspired main pool area. The central outdoor space was well designed and executed. It is appropriately themed with just enough color and accents to give the area character but not be over the top. There are 2 pools and a small children's splash pad area. There's also ample seating, including your typical loungers, some hammocks, day beds, and even shaded casitas. The Voyager class offers several of the same sports areas found on Royal Caribbean's larger ships, like a basketball court, a rock climbing wall, and the flow rider. Navigator of the Seas also received 2 brand new First at Sea waterslides. These included the head-first mat slide, Riptide, and the Blaster, an aqua coaster. The waterslides and flow rider were open every day for a good amount of time, which allowed us to test out these new additions without much of a wait. There's also a newly spruced up Navigator Dunes, the mini golf course found on Deck 13. This 3-day weekend cruise included Embarkation Day in Miami and 2 ports of call in the Bahamas. Given that most individuals got off the ship to explore in the ports of call, there were still a decent amount of daytime activities. Still, there are other cruise pastimes, like the belly flop contest, port and shopping talks, as well as sponsored events from the spa and art gallery. However, if you decide to stay on the ship, you'll probably want to enjoy the outdoor spaces and the sunshine like we did. For the most part, service on Navigator of the Seas was friendly and prompt. Service is one area that can vary considerably from venue to venue, but we would say the service was pretty consistent on this trip. We did notice several officers visible on the ship, and a restaurant manager always came by to check in on us during our dinner meals. Our excellent waiter at Jamie's, who also happened to be named Jamie's, was a standout staff member. Overall, service was better than some of our recent megaship experiences with the brand. For this 3-day cruise, we did not dine in the main dining room for any meals, as we were testing out the unlimited dining package. However, from our experience, the main dining room on Royal Caribbean serves a solid 3-course meal for dinner and also offers a pretty traditional sit-down breakfast. Cruisers have the option of either doing My Time dining, where you dine at a different time each night, or scheduling a more traditional dining with set times, 1 early seating and 1 late seating. For this trip, we purchased the unlimited dining package. We made good use of this program, testing out virtually all of the upcharge restaurants minus Azumi. Overall, the restaurants delivered a solid mix of food and service. The wings at Playmakers remain my choice for best chicken wings at sea. Our dinner at Jamie's Italian was outstanding with great food and service. Chops Grill seared up one of the best steaks that I've had on a Royal Caribbean ship in a really long time. Our dinner at Hook was our least favorite of the trip, with some good dishes and some not so good dishes. We would say the dining package was a good investment for this trip, especially since we got it at 30% off pre-cruise. During the amplification, Navigator of the Seas received a rendition of Loco Fresh on the pool deck. This casual, quick service restaurant was open only for lunch on this cruise. It offered things like tacos, burritos, and quesadillas, and everything we sampled was very tasty. Inside, there's the Cafe Promenade, which is open 24 hours a day. For breakfast, there's an options of continental items like danishes and donuts, and for the remainder of the day, you'll find favorites like pizzas or small sandwiches. While the Windjammer did receive a facelift during the amplification, the food here was pretty typical. Our breakfast was average at best, and we did not dine here for lunch or dinner. For a short cruise, there was plenty of other casual dining options that we never really had to eat at the buffet. On these 3-day cruises, Royal Caribbean really tries to cram as much as possible into your vacation. In fact, we sometimes felt overwhelmed that there was no way we could fit everything into each evening. While there was certainly a large quantity of activities, the quality was hit or miss. Some of the musical acts in the different venues felt dated. We missed the traditional piano player in the Schooner Bar, as the improv and comedy music was a bit of a letdown. Hugo, the cruise director, had high energy and a quirky personality that certainly kept the crowds entertained. Events like the Crazy Quest or the Disco Inferno Party were well attended, with lots of fellow cruisers engaging in some of the fun. Of course, there are other events like game shows, bingo, and even karaoke to keep everyone entertained. If there was one area where the ship fell short, it would be the signature entertainment. The ship's ice skate production in Studio B was entertaining, but did not live up to the quality you find on other larger ships like the Oasis class. In the main theater, the Welcome Aboard show and late night comedy featured the same comedian, who neither of us found all that funny. The signature production show, Showgirl, was rather bland. It felt like your stereotypical cruise entertainment. Lastly, the headliner on night 3 was a comedic juggler. His act was high energy and mildly amusing, but would be our pick for the best show if we had to choose one. We really enjoyed the spruced up vibe of the new outdoor lime and coconut bar. The addition of Playmakers, sports bar and arcade, and the bamboo room injected new energy into the Royal Promenade. As for the rest of the typical Royal Caribbean bar lineups, it was pretty hit or miss. While we are fans of the Schooner Bar and Bolero's menus, our drinks were not well prepared at either venue. The R Bar is a spot that we actually miss on the newer ships, but this rendition was tired and in need of an update. However, the English pub delivered a wide beer selection and a solid acoustic guitar performer as always. Using our credit card reward points, we booked one of the last balcony staterooms available on the ship. The spacious balcony, stateroom 9372, felt larger and roomier than our similar cabin on Mariner of the Seas. Actually, compared with our other recent experiences in balcony rooms, it appeared more spacious than some of the newest and largest cruise ships in the world. During the update, the room received some cosmetic touch-ups, including some new furniture, carpet, and accessories, although the bathroom remained a bit dated. There was also plenty of storage between the dresser drawers and closet. For the price, the room was perfect for this 3-night getaway. Like most megaships, you'll certainly run into other cruisers during the trip. For the most part, the crowds were never an issue. The bars had short waits and the shows were never busy. Arriving 20 minutes early, we had prime pick of seats in the venues. In addition, we were even able to find seats on the promenade to watch popular events like the 70s disco party. The only instance where we really felt the crowds was during Disembarkation. This was our 4th short Bahamas cruise, and hands down our favorite. When comparing ships that offer these quick weekend getaways, Navigator of the Seas might be the best new option. The mix of family-friendly amenities, diverse dining, and new features made the ship appealing to all types of cruisers. Loyal cruisers will appreciate the familiar venues and royal touches. New additions like Playmakers Sports Bar and Grill, the Bamboo Room, and El Loco Fresh have breathed new life into the 17-year-old ship. Along with these new venues, several existing public spaces have been refurbished, such as the Royal Promenade and the staterooms. Not to mention, there's also the newly revamped pool deck and the lime and coconut bar, which might be our favorite upgrades on the ship. For individuals who have never cruised on Royal Caribbean, the ship's simple layout and diverse options offer cruisers more choices than you might find on other ships sailing short Bahama cruises. During our trip, we encountered several groups, families, and reunions that all seem to be loving the Navigator of the Seas. The new additions to the ship are worthy attractions themselves, but the other big draw is that the ship will be regularly stopping at the private island of Perfect Day at CocoCay. Between the ship itself and the newly upgraded island, there is so much to do, see, and eat that we just couldn't fit everything into one schedule. So, I guess that means we'll have to book another trip on the newly amplified Navigator of the Seas as soon as possible. And there you have it. That's our Navigator of the Seas ship scorecard review. But of course, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment below with your review of this newly amplified ship or another Royal Caribbean ship you've sailed on recently. I'm DB from eatsleepcruise.com, and if you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe down below and check the notification icon. That way you get updated whenever we put out brand new videos. You can also find us all over social media at Eat Sleep Cruise, and thanks again for watching.